Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you all. Hope everybody had a great Palm Sunday, and hopefully everybody's back and ready to get rock and rolling going in today. It is a very interesting morning. Good to see you, David. Good to see you, Charlene, everyone. Yeah, we got a couple of nice little stocks. We're going to talk about that, Charlene, everything else. But Palantir, my God, what's going on with this stock? Is just making a big run. News just came out. They basically, NATO had just acquired an AI-powered military system from Palantir. So that stock is doing absolutely great. So I don't know if anyone here still got the swing trade on that stock, but that one did really well. We've been a big fan of Palantir for a long time. There's a lot of stocks that are moving in the market right now. So definitely going to talk about a couple of those things. Hold on one second. Audio is not working. Hold on one second. Let me fix something here. Looks like I'm having a mute audio problem. Hey, hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. All right, traders, welcome back. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My computer rebooted this weekend and did all these crazy updates. And sure enough, I was having a tough time getting this morning, but we're back. We're fine. All right. Anyway, a lot of great action going on this morning. Palantir just came out with some big news this morning that NATO is buying one of their military projects that they, what did they buy? They bought their, I got it right here. Where is it? Yeah, they acquired one of their anti-power military systems from Palantir. So stock is doing great. Palantir here on the long-term chart, just showing this really big right here. You could see that stock. We've been a big fan of Palantir all the way up to 40. You had a really good opportunity to get in right around the 65, 72. So that stock is doing really well. A lot of resistance levels, though, here around 98, right below 100. So Palantir is making the watch list. So anyway, I'll tell you, this whole thing with the tariffs and everything has just been unbelievable. The market has been reacting on any move. I told you this. I don't care what you think. If you watch on social media, you could say all the bad things you want about Trump, the great things you want to say about Trump, but we're the same party. And I'm telling you that I've never, in all the years that I've traded, I've never seen a president, control the market with these little things like what you just heard. He just took off the tariffs on all the electronics. So, and it's funny, he did it right after the close on Friday. He didn't want to announce it during the market hours. So now all the stocks that are doing great, like Apple, what else doing? NVIDIA, Amazon, they're all doing well. Apple's really doing well on the news on that, and Apple's up about 12 points. So, these are, if you look at Apple down here, I mean, look how much this stock dropped from 225 all the way to $170. And you know what? Now she's starting to come back a little bit, a lot. So there's great opportunities. This is the thing I want you guys to be very concerned, be focused on, and look out for. And we'll share it with you as we'll see it. One of the biggest things I learned as a trader, the best news that a company can come out with is number one is earnings. And I don't know if you know what the second one is. The second biggest one is buybacks. Look for the hearing about these companies buying back their stock because they know what they're worth. Think of you as a person as nobody's going to make a better investment and invest money than in yourself. Okay. If you had to go lend the money to somebody else to make money for you, or you're going to put in your own business, where do you think the money's more valuable? And a lot of these companies will be like, wait a minute, my company's worth this cheap. I'm going to go out there and buy more about it. It's one of the biggest things I taught. I told you about that in one of phase 3 classes. I told you Barron's does a big thing about that in the back of their pages. in their newspaper over the weekend. They always announce all these buybacks. Love that news. Always made the market run up. So anyway, I'll be shocked if I don't hear a lot of it. Tesla obviously doing a lot better too on the technology. I don't know about you two guys, but I'm going to share this video. Did you guys watch the video on the robots they're coming out with? Did anybody see the video on that? The robots that Tesla, my God, those things are crazy. Oh my God. I mean, if that, I'm going to get the video on YouTube. It is, Patrick says it's insane. It really is. So, I mean, Tesla, I mean, getting out with that stuff and seeing where the price is, where you buy the stock. I mean, look at the support levels that you're at over here. So I own a lot of shares, and not on Tesla, but I own the TSLL because it's the ETF and it's the double ETF on it. You can see here it was up almost at 40, dropped all the way down here at these big support levels over the course of the year. So I'm doing pretty well on that one. That one's doing pretty well. Bitcoin is doing really well this morning. It's up at 85. So a lot of was iBit. iBit did really well on Friday. You could see it right here. Nice push on Friday around 46 up to 48. You could see that stock obviously taking a really big hit. So I would put iBit on the watch list too, IBIT. All these stocks are doing well. Apple, AAPL. But these are all brand name stocks that are doing well. So on the swing trade, they're looking pretty nicely. Now, let's go over and talk about some of the other stocks that are in the big watch list right now in the big early mornings. Now, it is Monday. I want to be very, very careful today. The stock market is closed on Friday for Good Friday. So I'm actually going to be on vacation tomorrow. Josh and Rich will take care of you. And I'll be, I have a conference down on vacation, never vacation. I have a conference in Las Vegas meeting. It's the biggest year of the event that I do with all our gurus that we get to meet up. So looking forward to meeting up down there. I'll let you know what's going on and everything else. But anyway, I'll be out there. And but be very careful this week. Specifically, probably on Thursday. The kids, my kids are off from school this week. So, some kids at Catholic schools are off the following week. So it's going to be a really, really quiet week, I think. But you can never underestimate what's going to happen with this president making another announcement, because the tariffs obviously are all in, and we just it's a waiting game with the China. That's basically what it comes out to. So Bull, this is another stock, but it's an IPO and there's a bunch of warrants out there. Stay away from that one. This stock is, I don't know if it was a buyout, but it just shot up and it's kind of flatlined. So I'm really not a fan of that one. I'll put this on the B list. I got to look up the news on it. I don't know what the news is, but that looks like a buyout when it just after 7 a.m. hasn't gone anywhere in about 10 cents. So we'll check out that one. Rich will check that out for us. There's another stock up 31%. Nice little move right here. Had a good move yesterday. Came back down. Up again this morning. Spread a little kind of ugly. AREB. We'll put that on the watch list. This stock was a good stock on Friday, and it's moving up again this morning. This stock was down to $1. It went up as high as $3. Good volume, good spread, good everything we're looking for. THTX. Let's put that one on our watch list. That one's a good one. VERV. This stock, a lot of good action early this morning, but backed off right here. I don't know where the level 4 is. I want to check out the level 4 on this stock. VERV. Hold on. VERV. Let's check this out. Let me see. All right. So, you can see it right here. There's a couple of orders out here. Nothing great. Let me go hop over here really quick on Amazon. Let's see what's on Amazon's going on. You can see the orders over here, 160, 190, Tesla, 260, 265. Got a big order here, 260. I get through that. And really 280. NVIDIA, 120. Right there, we see iceberg. Remember, this is all pre-market. The market's not even open yet. So what else that we have here? Don't like that. Don't like that. This thing did unbelievable on Friday, but don't like it. Too expensive. And that's about it over there. Nothing here on the losers. New York Stock Exchange. Nothing really there. This stock has been doing great lately. Really big move. Been a great day trade. I don't know if it's too much of a swing trade, but there's a huge buyer out there. Look at this, 133,000 share buyer out in the stock. Wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it? UAMY. Let's see him on level 4. What happened here? Uh, let's check it out. Level 4. Oh no, I have it up here. What? UME. Here he is, right here. There he is. Oh, this is a ladder. Oh, we got a ladder. Look at that. He started around 8:30. He keeps bidding it up. That's a good sign right there. That could be a good pre-market trade right there. UMEMI. I like it. UAMY. Really nice. You can really see the ladder here. Let me bring this up a little bit better. See that ladder, everybody? He started around 3 o'clock, $3. Then he went up to 303. Then he's up over here at 312. You see him right there? That is a very good example to show you how important level 4 is. Okay. That's why we use level 4. Big, nice iceberg order. And there was one person here, but he canceled his order around 350. So I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. Anyway. All right. So we got a decent watch list. It's Monday. Let's not get too crazy. Let's not get too, Mondays. Oh, hopefully it's not like last Monday and the Monday before that. Those were crazy. But usually you come back from the weekend, especially going into a holiday week. People are not going to get too crazy. I know Goldman Sachs had some good earnings. So bank stocks did come out yesterday. Goldman, being the godfather of Wall Street, did really well. But let's try to stick what we got on our watch list, and let's see what's happened on our swing trading list. All right. But so far, everything looks good. Got a bunch of good little moving stocks. Anything I'm missing? I did not, that I missed out? UME Metals Company. China has cut back 11% on rare earth minerals to U.S. So is that why Samuel's doing well? You see that? That's why we're here, part of the Cyber Group room. So that's really the breaking news on why U.S. Well, that stock is doing pretty well right there. That's the news on it. Beautiful. Love it. Great little stock right there. All right. Anyway, let's get ready for the market open up. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a quick 15-minute break. Don't log out. Cyber Group members, you see something, you say something, and Rich and I will be ready to come back and broadcast go into this open. So we'll be right back.
All right, folks, here we go. We are good to go across both ends here, YouTube, Facebook Live, and of course the trading floor right here. Great to have you, and great to see you, Fausto.
Yeah, good morning. How are you? Good to see
Doing
you
pretty
all.
good. Ready to go here.
I'll
Finally,
tell you,
it's kind of like
this
a
is
quiet week in the market, I feel like. With the Good Friday coming up, market closed then. So it's like a nice and quiet week, I think.
well, not until the news came out on Friday regarding everyone was texting me like, "What does that mean? Is my stock going to go up? I own Nvidia and like everything else." I'm like, "Oh, you look pretty damn good." So far, everything
Yeah,
looks good.
this is just where we have to react to what the chart shows us. We can't get in our own heads too much. You're like, oh, do I sell now when markets open up? It's like, let's just see what happens. Just play it out for a little bit.
Hmm.
So I got out of a swing trade, Fausto, just before in pre-market. Chuck and myself together were in it on the Mara, MARA. It was from
Okay.
Friday afternoon. We were just talking about it with the squeeze in Bitcoin and pulling back now. So we took our money and ran just before in the trading floor in the chat board there.
The uh, the Palantir is really taking off a little bit here. I guess they love the news on that. So,
That's as good news as you can get for a company when
oh yeah,
freaking
you
NATO of
know,
all things, a conglomerate of countries is looking to acquire Palantir's services or their product.
yeah, you can't get better news than that. That's just absolutely. I mean, that is it's NATO. I mean, it's like I mean, they definitely have an in
So we're
when it
getting a
comes
halt
to.
right away, and this we didn't trade on Friday because I don't know, we didn't really notice it. And then after 4 o'clock on Friday, it was flying up out of nowhere. That IPO Webull
Oh,
Bull just got halted on the way up.
it's it took a big hit in pre-market and came back down. I mean, I think it was up to 40, came down to 20, but just stay away from it. This thing is like this stock is ridiculous stock,
The only
crazy.
reason I call it out is the halt. Most IPOs will typically just tank after. I was expecting this to just tank right when the market opens. So
The warrant's still
keep a
trading right
small eye on
now.
it. But
The BULL, the Bull Z is still trading.
what was that?
Bull Z, they have warrants. As
They have
WZ.
warrants. Oh, geez, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
warrants
so
on
let's
it.
take a look there. At least the warrants are not going to be nearly as tradable, even though it's cheaper. It's just you got a bad spread, bad orders on that one too.
It's funny. You don't really see that many warrants anymore. That's mainly what they do is a lot of the companies just make ETFs on it.
Yeah, now definitely with the single stock ETFs, which are like double or triple leveraged, uh,
Yeah.
there's more money to be made. There's more money to also lose, I guess. But
Well,
getting a pop also from the morning watch list, you had the THTX trade. That was
yeah,
a really good push before you started the meeting. I was saying in the chat board, it was just making higher lows. So we needed to see it move up. Higher lows don't mean anything until it makes the higher high. But looks like we're getting a good push here.
yeah, we are. That one's moving up pretty nicely. Nice spread, a little bit better, cheaper stock, up 43%, 10 million shares, everything that we like.
We're in a
Apple
little
picked.
green here today, Fausto. It's not the same color, but Masters green, we'll call it. Did you watch yesterday or no?
Oh, I did. I'm not a big fan that much in golf, but I did watch a little bit.
Crazy finish. Yeah, I'm the
Was it
same way. I don't
crazy?
really
I
watch
had it at the
like
end. What
hardcore,
time
but
was
I
it
know who
over?
everyone is. So when I saw McElroy like blow up at the end, that was crazy.
Yeah, but he was killing it at the end, wasn't he? The whole time?
Oh, he came back. Yeah, he definitely recovered, and years ago he blew up on Masters, like 14 years ago or something, and finally got it. Getting a push on some of the quantums. I like staying to our watch list to begin, especially in the first 5 minutes. I mean, you're a 35 plus year pro. You scan the market for us for a reason, so we want to stick with that. But I will say some of the quantums are trying to push up here, like QUBT and RGTI.
Palantir is kind of just doing a shake right here. Um, yeah, the quantum stock should probably get something out of that news on Friday too. But that Rigetti that you brought up, man, that was big. I don't know, that a nasty slingshot or what?
Just typing in our chat board right now, Fausto, to all of our students here. I see like Margaret, Bill, I see Chuck, Matt, Roberto, one of our new gold students actually. Just saying THTX has resistance. And a couple of big iceberg orders at like 290 and $3. It was a good idea, Chuck, getting out on that Mara trade. You could always get back in, and you know what? Just for a swing going into the beginning of a week, it's nice to just start off with a profit. Great to see Scott here. Scott S joining us this morning. Oh, the
How are you?
AREB
Good
trade
morning to
got
you
halted
too.
to the downside also. Rich wrote that earlier, but I'm just catching wind of that right now.
See a lot of profit taking. Everything backed off, like all the Palantir, Tesla, Amazon. Amazon took a really big hit, down about $3.
THTX is holding here, but I wouldn't buy it right here as you got resistance right at those levels we said, but see if
It
it
looks
builds
like it's doing a
support.
shake. I don't have it on my level 4. Do you have it up there? I don't have it up there.
Oh, we got a new 15,000 share buyer just popping in on the THTX trade. Can't get broken through though from here.
Yeah, that's a big order.
And
Just showed
Palantir
up.
falling off a little bit now. Buy the rumor. Well, not buy the rumor, so that's real news. But just profit taking, we'll just say. A little profit taking there, maybe. I don't have the SPY chart up here on my heat map. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, market's still holding here. It's been holding here steady.
So far, so good, at least
400-ish.
from what we've been calling out. I mean, the watch list mainly, and the THTX, which is on there.
Starting to get some reds on my screen.
Yeah, and market pulling back a little bit just to begin.
Market,
I felt like there was a good chance for us to get pretty damn close to 550 today, if not tomorrow. So I'm hoping that this is just the beginning of like a shake, go back up.
I would just love to see just the market, just like I love to see stocks just like find that consolidation we're looking for. That's what we need. We need consolidation.
Yep. I need
You
a
know,
couple of days of just like slow and stagnant, which is good for a swing move. So
yeah, that's what we need. And that will give a really good foundation for these good swing trades. I mean,
there's
Tesla's
something I
up.
showed last week in our Traders Talk workshop, Fausto, which we're going to do right here coming up at 12 o'clock later on today.
Mhm.
But that's where I was messaging you. I think Bitcoin's going to make a move to 100,000, if not more, in the next month. I'll discuss it more in the workshop again. I introduced it last week, but there's a nice little metric you can kind of compare Bitcoin to. Long story short, I think that we're going to see a pretty strong move up coming up. Give it like a few weeks, a month.
I could see that.
And of course, if the markets all move up together, rising tide lifts all boats. So
What's going on
holding
with
here. Speaking of consolidation, this is definitely holding here, consolidating around the highs for right now.
something that's also I didn't mention early this morning's meeting that's been on big news is Meta. Meta,
Yeah, there's something that happened, right?
the FTC is going after them. They're trying to break them up and call them monopoly. I know when Trump was in office back in, his first term, they did go after them then, but they stopped. But just they're big. They own everything. I mean, when you really think about what they own, think about it. They own Instagram, they own Facebook, they own WhatsApp, they own what's the other one they own? They own one other one. It's a big conglomerate. I mean, like they really control a lot of it. So they just want to break them up. Sometimes these companies they really can be a monopoly. There was one more if I'm missing it. But
THTX is doing great here. In fact, I think that you're starting to see a ladder on the bid develop.
you want to know the whole funny part about this, Josh? The judge that is doing the case on Meta is the same judge that that went against Trump too on getting the illegals back, sending him over to San Salvador.
Yeah,
He's the judge that's looking on this case right here.
interesting.
So that was pretty. It was a
Well,
coincidence.
so is there another date for a court appearance for Zuckerberg? Is there
Today,
what's
start
the
today.
next step? Do you know?
Today, it could happen. I'm watching it right now. It's not doing. It's taking a big hit.
Just because if you know that there's going to be a court appearance with Zuck, that will definitely shake the stock that day. So I'm wondering, like, is that going to be like later this week, this month?
Well, it could be this week. I mean, it's been going on for 10 years, the case.
Well, at
So
least Zuck will be looking a lot more like a human being compared to the last time he was getting probed. He looked like a robot last time he was on the what was it? Not the congressional floor, but he was in a major hearing, right?
Yep.
He had that buzz cut. He looked like a robot. He was like
Yeah, not
pale white
anymore.
and
Now
just like, oh.
I think he finally grew out his hair. He's starting to look a little bit normal right now. Getting a nice little push in the QUBT. You RFG from YouTube just shot it out. Already made a nice little move. All these quantum
Oh yeah, we
stocks.
called that out just earlier. The QUBT trade. The JNVR is too crazy. Yeah, it's too crazy.
Amazon's tanking. I know Amazon's also. Is it today the launch that they're having on that all women's on the spaceship that he's?
Oh, the Blue Origin. I saw that over the weekend too. I don't have an answer. Rich, can you find out for us right there?
I don't know if it's today.
Yeah, I saw something on that there. So maybe.
You know, what does that freak me out? Let me tell you something. No, not to be Debbie Downer or negative or anything but like I don't know that the whole thing about the space shuttle with the teacher when it blew up and stuff. Always like I just every time I see a spaceship go up, it's like bad anxiety. It does schedule at 9:30 Eastern. So it's today.
I'll tell you, I am right where I need to be. I'm right where I want to be. On the floor, on the ground. I'm not going submerged in the ocean in a submarine. I'm not going up in the sky in some rocket. I like where I'm at right now. So
I don't have my TV on, but did it launch? Because the stock's not looking too good.
Liftoff is scheduled at 9:30 Eastern time from Blue Origin's launch site in Texas. Well, I remember the last one we had was with Lunar, LUNR. They had some space launch last month or two, and they were delaying it, and the stock was getting crushed real time. It was kind of cool. It was cool to watch, like, the stock at least. It was fun trade. Bill says rock climbing. Oh, well, I could do a little rock climbing, Bill, but I was discussing more just like, you can't get me up in the air. I'm not going skydiving. I'm not going in a submarine. I'll do a little rock climbing, Bill. I could do that.
Tesla's been a good short. It's going down pretty hard now. It's at $2. Started at 188. It's at 183. Really good short on that stock right there. I don't know about you, but like when I got older, like I talked to, I guess, a lot of older people. We have a lot of older people like my age and older in here. I go in a hotel. I don't like being high in a hotel now. I'm like fear of heights now. Like I got to be on a lower floor. I remember it was like, oh, I want the highest floor. I don't like it anymore. Going out there, it kind of freaks me out.
So when you say that, I'll just mention it. I don't have like fear of elevators, but I'm just saying, like, knowing my luck, if anything, I'd be the guy that gets stuck in the elevator 37 floors up, and then they got to like take 3 hours to get me out of it. So,
hey,
man.
It's been a good short so far.
Adele says him too.
You know what? I don't know if it's just even that. Everything's dropping. Tesla just dropped from 261 down to 254.
And also that QUBT dropping too. A lot of things starting to reverse a bit here.
Yeah, everything's kind of reversing a little bit. The bull opened up and got hold on the downside.
SPY's at 540. We had, when the market was starting to fall off, we were looking at certain levels from like last year. 535 could be something, but you don't want to catch a falling knife in this market, and you assume, not to put it too bluntly, but you make an ass out of yourself. I've learned the hard way myself there. So we'll focus on the cyber clock maybe for reversal time.
THTX is moving up pretty nicely. Great stock, great movement, up 57%, 25 million shares. Still pushing up. I don't know if anybody's still holding on to it, but that one as of right now has been probably the most comfortable, nice spread. We had a lot of we have a lot of new gold students that signed up last week, and one of the big things I was talking about, and if you are a new student at CyberTrading University, hopefully you took the time over this weekend, because I tell everyone this: the first lesson you take with us, that 1 hour video Josh does, it's a beginner, it's basic. People like tell me, when you watch that first video, you're going to see why half the people lose money in the market. It's all about spread. It's all about volatility, all that. And some people don't realize it. Like one person just brought up in YouTube, says, Fausto, could you check out this the JNVR? Just bring it up out of curiosity. That thing was like ridiculous.
Last week it was ridiculous. Crazy.
Yeah, but look at the spread. Look at the volume. It's just like You had to hit lotto, and you don't want to be that. You want to be lucky in the business. Getting a bounce in Amazon, so maybe they hit the bottom right there, a little support. There's a lot of support about 180.
Be careful on the THTX right now. It's not really holding where it should be. We had resistance at 290 and a $3. So if it can't lay over those prices as support, we'll probably look to reverse sooner than you'd think.
Yeah, someone just came out and just sold a bunch of shit of shares right now. You see it right there, big green bull time in sales.
You know what's funny, Fasto? You just brought it up before, just about like new members joining us, like new students at least, to go through that first class, right? And we have a lot of traders here that are not new to trading. Actually, most of us that join CTU have like 2 years, 5 years plus experience, if not decades. You could be the greatest furniture builder of all time. You still should read the instruction book. You know what I mean? You should
Mhm.
still read like step by step, like at least make sure that you're in line with what they're showing you at least. Especially that first class. I go over even the trading room. I go over all the little tidbits and features that you may not know of on your trial walkthrough, even. So there's a lot of good information. Actually, next week we'll be doing the phase one classes again.
Good. That's why I want everyone who signed up the past 2 weeks, make sure you do that. What comes to mind was Adele. I was talking to Adele last week. He's a new gold student. He's in there now. And, he kind of like was telling me like he's taken so many courses. I mean, he's taken courses from like OTA, Warrior, a bunch of other people. And, it kind of, this is what leads us to me saying, like, a lot of people, like, they get into these crazy indicators and they talk about all this crazy stuff, but they don't realize it's all about following the orders, other than seeing what's on the left of the chart, but what's on the right of the chart. And that's what we're seeing right now. A lot of orders coming in.
Chuck, I bet you feel like a genius getting out on Mara and pre-market where you did.
I got a really cool photo I want to share. Talking about level 4. I want to bring up a really nice one. I'll put it on our. I don't know if everyone's here subscribed to our alerts. We're on Twitter and uh, Telegram, and then also if you're in the trading room, you're going to see it. But if you want to, I'm going to do a quick little lesson. Big iceberg order. You can't get better than this.
Amazon dropping off steady. Go back to Tesla, Rich. Fausto's going to post this picture. I just want to see what Tesla looks like. You got major support at $250. So, just message you here, Fausto. 1 sec.
Okay, there you go. Just post that alert. You can't get something prettier than that. Yeah, you know what? The market, I don't know why these stocks are coming down a lot. And Dow and Nasdaq's basically holding up. I mean, the Dow and S&P have been holding here pretty strong between 300-400 range.
Yeah, I think that will still. I mean, I'd love to get a big pop right now, but normally, we see reversals happen a little bit later in the morning, like in about 30, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. It's funny, Ron made a comment, one of our silver students, to me earlier, just saying like, just basically spot on a call out. It was like a stock that popped and dropped instantly. And I was saying, watch out, it's a pop and drop stock. And what I'm here to say is like, guys, we have learned the hard way, so hopefully you never have to. I've tried buying stocks at this time in the morning, and then we've only seen it go lower because normally at least around 10:15, 10:30, that's where we typically see better movement, like as far as reversals go. I don't mind taking a trade at a higher price around then if there is just better conviction. But right now we're still seeing lower highs here. That THTX is coming back up a little bit. Maybe there is a chance for that to try and build support off that 290. Needs to definitely make a higher high.
We're getting a couple of pops over here. The video just moved up a little bit. Palantir is testing some big supports around 92. You got a scalp today. I don't know about you, but I'm not too crazy about today's market. And I felt like that this morning, even though we had a pretty decent list and the news did come out. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not as super excited.
Agreed. I'm being very patient though, so it's not like I'm like
Okay. Same
And
thing
I'm
with
just
me.
saying this to our new students here, new members. You can't rip your hair out on a day like today, expecting it to be like last week. So it's good that this is happening. Just be a little patient, wait for setups to fall into your lap.
Yeah.
Try and chase for them yourself.
There's a lot of profit taking going on when the market opened up. Apple came down. I mean, Nvidia came down. A lot of profit taking.
We used the word litmus test last week, Fausto, if you remember. I think for today, even, this will be a good litmus test for Bitcoin, because if we're expecting a stagnant market, like kind of choppy consolidation, then Bitcoin should. But if we see a strong move up today or tomorrow as the markets are more flat, I think that's a really bullish sign then long term for Bitcoin, should that happen.
Mm-hmm. Adele just made a comment, one of our new gold students in the room, about the tariffs. Getting a couple of bounces.
As long as THTX can stay over 290, it needs to break a higher high, though. If it can't do that, then this will be a lower high than a lower low.
Big buyer came in Tesla at 251, 252. It was a big support levels around 250. Yes. Did news come out or something? Yeah, it looks
Nah, it
like
would make a
everything's
bigger
going
pop. I
to.
think Tesla's so crazy. I think the second news comes out, that thing would either pop or drop 5% insta. That's a nice. Well, at $250, you got big support, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what today is, everyone, right? I mean,
The day before tax day, right?
it's tax day, so like it's like the last thing on people's mind is to trade. You know what I mean? I mean, hopefully
Terry
you're.
just asking you that, Fausto, in the chat right now. And your experiences the day before tax day, has it been significant?
Well, it's crazy that it's full. The 14th falls on a Monday, so they had some issues about tax day falling on the 14th fell like on a weekend, and that was happening the past 2 years. But usually, no one likes to do anything stupid on the tax. This is the last thing on their mind, and I personally don't think. I mean, I wouldn't pass it by him that he would do something, but I don't know if Trump's going to do something crazy and say no, there's something like he did on Friday or whatever with the tariffs. Let's say, unless someone else coming out, people got their tax got to get done, so it's at least on their mind.
Yeah, between taxes plus, like we just said last week, Passover started just on Friday last week,
Passover,
Saturday, pardon me. And then we got Easter coming up this Sunday with Good Friday, where the whole markets are closed. School's off, I think, right?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and especially here in New York, it's a very Jewish community. So, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them are in New York stock, a lot of them trade the market. They're off, you know what I mean? People looking forward to that. Kids are off from school. I mean, my wife went to the gym this weekend and it was like dead. It was like nobody there.
I like that. That's
Like,
good for me. I'll take that any day of the week.
well, what are you talking? They come to you. They're coming down
Yeah.
to Florida. Everyone's leaving. So that's what you're basically going to be seeing. And that's okay. You know what I mean? You know, I'll tell you, the
We are
last time
starting
I
to
was
get a
away,
small bounce here, it looks like, but I'm not jumping into anything just yet.
remember I went away from my son's school, and we were in Aruba, and it was like one of the biggest days. Which I don't like the whole positions, but I got really beat up that day with the market. That's when all the shit hit the fan.
I remember. Well, I texted you, and when I text you, when you're on vacation, you get a text from me. It's like
I'm never
I'm
on
either
vacation.
trying to like have you focus on something good or something bad.
Listen, I'm never on vacation. I'm always working, and everyone here, like you heard from me during the market. I look at you. I'm always working. I mean, it's not a good thing,
I
but
felt bad texting you when you're in Aruba. I'm like, Fausto's got to see what's going on with this market right now. I really hope he's in the loop. So I'm texting you as a friend there.
no, I just ordered more drinks to the bar. That's all. Baba's moving up pretty decently, also shockingly, which is
That's a good
a
move.
Alibaba, Chinese company.
So maybe some of the Chinese stocks getting a good push right now too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, was Neo? What's the other one?
Neo's been dead. I've been in Neo for dude. I'm down big on Neo right now.
It's good. Well, you
I've been swing trading and I haven't been managing as well as I should have been. I've been just holding on to that. I'm down on it. XPEV has been such a better trade though. XPEV. Once I get to a point where I'm like just break even on you. I'm just going to get out of it and never focus on it again.
Well, it's getting close to pretty big resistance levels on Neo. I just looked on it. So it's not about breaking even. It's about getting past that one resistance.
Well, ever since we heard with Trump basically potentially saying like Chinese stocks in the US might get delisted. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good for a lot of the stocks that we normally trade. THTX is making a push back up. See if it could break high of the day.
There's another stock here that's moving up pretty nicely. ARTL that we did not call out, just backed off a little bit. I don't know what level 4 looks like, though. I have to check it out. I'm telling you, you're going to see that this is what you're going to notice. A lot of Chinese stocks, I mean, I don't know what gives them the privilege to not be reporting, but they're going to do something about that. I know, because it's all about Wall Street making money. I mean, like, the less they have to report, the better it is. But I spoke about this last week. You're going to probably see that's going to be the next biggest news that probably Trump's going to do, with the tariffs and this and that. Like, he's probably going to forces the SEC to start saying, you know what? You want to play that game? You guys are going to have to start reporting. And they should, though. I mean, I don't listen. It's like, why is somebody else got to show not allowed to show their income tax return and you do? So you're probably going to see a lot of that.
THTX is doing pretty damn good here. You got your next resistance though here at 325, about 33,000 share seller.
The ARTL's got a little bit of a rainbow, little Legos, but it's got a lot of support at 120 and some resistance at 140. You could see that on the chart, the intraday chart. It looks the only thing I don't like about the THTX, Josh, it's got a lot of the wicks are really big on that.
I was just perfect. Yes, I was thinking the same exact thing on it.
You say the same thing?
Yeah. Well, when you were saying that when you were starting to say that you weren't a fan of it, instantly my head's going like, why? And I'm seeing like the up wicks on those 1 minute candles.
Yeah,
they are pretty big.
they're pretty big.
Red
it's like,
ones. Yeah.
I mean, look at a tank now. All of a sudden,
if it's not going to play nice and just break out and make that big move that you want, then this right here is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Webull getting halted again to the upside. Bull, again, the issue on it is just the liquidity or lack thereof, but it's obviously going upward.
This stock's moving up pretty nicely too, but it looks like if it can get past this big resistance levels at 27, this stock did really well in the last 2 days. It's doing good today. MP spread's a little ugly, small tier sizes. Volume's okay, 3.5 million. Going into about 1030.
This bull trade is just going up too quickly for me. Just reopened. It's absolutely category 5, if not even untradeable to a degree.
Let me even look.
Yeah, this is the type of stock you absolutely can't chase. Very stupid idea. That ARTL that you called out, at least, it's dropping out. Damn. I was going to say that had a good order book, though.
There's a big, the ARTL's got some, it's going to test some big support levels right here. A lot of selling going on, but it looks like there's that, if you can hold here at this 20, which looks like it's trying to do right now.
Another Chinese stock going up really nicely. A little more expensive, like we said with Baba, but PDD. Yeah, Rich, you're calling that out there. Pinduoduo. It's a nice move. The more expensive a stock gets, if you see like it has a big spread, that's not surprising. That's kind of normal. So, if this was a $9 stock with this type of order book, that's crazy.
Man, stock took a major hit. What was it? 130 down to 87. A lot of supports right here at 87. My God, back in September, talking about volatile. Holy crap! That thing shot up. The PDD.
PDD, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing just went from like 87 in less than a month, went up to 150, came back down to like 95, went back to 130, came back to 80. Man, that thing is volatile. It was a good buy at 87.
This thing's making a really good push. You got resistance next at 100.
There's another Chinese stock. Summit.
Yeah, So it looks like
One's
PDD,
called Summit.
BABA, the XPEV trade there. A lot of the Chinese stocks doing good. JD, that's more within our price range to a degree. Oh, you got a 21,000 share buyer. It's at 39.15. We see it there on the matrix.
Yeah, Lynn, that's a nice little call right there. That Summit. I don't know where you got it. That was a really nice push for about $2. A lot of resistance levels here at 25, Lynn. So I don't know if you see the big order out there. Tao's pushing too. Those are all Chinese stocks. Tao was EDU's another one. These are all the Chinese education. Wow, EDU got crushed. I remember I was trading that stock a lot like 2 years ago. It was
Oh
down
yeah,
at
EDU and TAL and
yeah,
O2
remember?
and
It was down to
yeah,
like
others.
$1.40, and then they did a reverse split.
Got it. Traders Talk, our weekly workshop coming up in 2 hours today. So for anyone on social media, certainly look to join us on YouTube. That'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern time. Hit the follow or subscribe button, even the little notification bell or icon you see there so you know when we're going live. But, that goes across the board for all of our students here. Kathleen, Grant, John, Brad, Adele. And, I'm going to be on the call today with a bunch of students in the one-on-one coaching program. So I'll have the chance to work with you individually there. It's a lot to look forward to today.
Yep. Warren on
Let me ask you,
YouTube.
Fausto, a real quick question because we talk about this more in our trading room at least.
Yeah.
But once you join us, if you're a new gold student, how quickly should you get that coaching scheduled?
Once you get through the first phase 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely, right? Like if you're waiting like months, like 7, 8 months, would you say that's too long?
yeah, I think so.
All
That's okay.
right,
It's
just
never
making
too late.
sure we
Never too
you
late.
got
But
that.
you should always remember when you're a student cyber trading and when you're a gold student, you first do your quick intro. We make sure we set up your platform, make sure that's set up. That's about half the failure rate right there. So you'll do a Zoom meeting with one of the instructors at CTU, and then when you get through the classes, you'll get an intro with one of us, and then and usually you don't need your coaching right away. You got to get through the cycles. It's like get through the class first, and then you'll know what to ask because a lot of it's going to be covered in. It's going to be self-explanatory in class anyway, and that's when you really need help because then when you start trading, that's where the emotions come in. The training part of it almost comes out to be common sense, but then there's the greed, there's the discipline, and that's where the coaching really comes handy.
Yep.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of moves on these Chinese stocks. The EDU's moving up pretty nicely. Wow, Tesla came back, made a huge bounce. I bought a lot of TSLL. I own a lot of TSLL. I own a lot of TSLY.
Let's see how I'm just going to call this out here, just tossing it in the chat, but see if there's more to it later on. That stock from earlier, Serve, it's starting to go back up a little bit. It's just tossing it in the chat board. So there's better trades, at least that are at the highs and running, but you never know. Maybe later on we'll see this back up again.
Warren's question is, Fausto, is the New York Stock Exchange still around? Oh, it's still around. I mean, it's around for now. I mean, CNBC has their recordings, it has a studio down there and everything, but it's I don't know how much longer it's going to be there. I mean, the real estate there is a fortune. I mean, you can make a killing, having weddings there and bar mitzvahs and you said it, you name it,
I think that new stock exchange is going to open up kind of soon, right? The one in Texas.
Yeah.
There's the New York Stock Exchange, but located in Texas, I think.
Let me tell you, the real estate they got there is a fortune.
Today is definitely a day that we had expected, where it's just good to be a little patient and not chase, because at least that way you'll have things fall into your lap. Like we said before, with some of the Chinese stocks going up.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going back to where they started from. Palantir had a lot of resistance levels at 94. It just popped for about $1 right there. Looks like everything's starting to move back up. The Dow's up about 450. S&P's about 81. So we're getting a nice little bounce. It just made a new HOD in the markets. More on the Dow, not on the S&P yet, but looks like Amazon still didn't out of all of them is the one that didn't pop too much yet.
That bull trade keeps going up. Right when it reopened, I was looking for an entry on it. It's just category 5, first off. But secondly, like we said, we're not going to just jump in. So it's going up without us. Who cares? It's all right.
You know what's funny? The warrant's not moving up that much.
Oh, really? Let me see that.
No, the warrant's not moving up. It's the stock is.
This will start to push though a little bit here. But when we say that, don't just jump in, right? I mean, what happens when it reopens and it tanks and gets halted to the downside? So
You know what was smart about Webull, which was really good about this stock? It went public on Friday, right?
yeah, that was a weird one. Friday, yeah, it was a weird one. That totally flew under the radar.
Yeah, that one flew over the radar, and let me tell you, it was a screaming buy right around $10. It really was. How did I not see that?
It wasn't even
Did you
on
know it was public? I
Benzinga
didn't know it was
when I
going
saw it
public.
when I saw it this morning. I tried. I'm like, how did I not see this Friday? I've been here, and I look up on Benzinga's calendar. They didn't even show it. Sneaky.
It doesn't even look like it was even trading on Friday. It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, until like 4 o'clock or right after the close. Then bam.
3:30.
Insane.
It ran from, and then it ran to like 1260. It was a screaming buy. That was a beautiful swing trade. And Webull, let me tell you, they're pretty big company. You know, they're you know, I mean, $40. How's Robinhood doing because of it?
Robinhood definitely is going to be. I mean, they totally revamped their platform from the end of last year. They have all these incentives for people using their credit card. Robinhood has been a really good company for a little while, but maybe they didn't have good finances for the first couple of years of their IPO.
Well, the guys was a little of a one who flew over the cuckoo's nest a little bit, I would say. A little.
What was that?
The CEO is a little crazy guy.
Oh, he is? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's playing a whole full
Oh,
deck of
actually, I know
cards.
the guy. Yeah, the Vlad. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a little out there.
yeah. He's just showboat a little bit, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably a nice guy. I'm not saying him, but just like he was young, very aggressive, very fun, and obviously, I think Hood really got its name more about the GameStop, all that part. That's where that's really what kind of took them off a little bit.
Well, the best decision that we made, you led it right away there when you said it, the THTX. You're like, it doesn't look good. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was feeling the same way, my friend. And
Yeah, it's not those wicks are just ugly.
Mhm.
And you're gonna cover that when you do the wicks. You told that in what in phase 2?
Yeah, it's like like I'll go over like yeah, it's more phase 2, I'd say. In phase 1 next month I'll do it. It'll be more like chart patterns and just more simple trend and support resistance lines. So that kind of falls with it, but yeah, definitely we'll do that more in our intermediate classes.
I'm gonna draw a picture for everyone here. I got a picture to share again.
So the SPY did push up a little bit there, but now is the time. Like, let's see higher lows still build, and I'll feel really good in about 15, 20 minutes if we can get a pop.
Intel's getting close to that big $1.5 million seller.
It's funny. Barb just mentioned this in the chat, Fausto. She said, just FYI, Lucan Coffee apparently is still active. It's
Is it
just a pink
really?
sheet stock.
Let me see if it comes up on my watch list. Was
The
it
ticker that she has, LKNCY.
CY? Oh wow,
Turn
it
over
did
to
go up.
Rich. Just want to see if it's on our screen.
It's trading at $30.
It's an OTC, LKNCY.
It's doing
Weird
pretty
name.
well for the day. But just to show you, I want to bring this up. I'm glad you brought that up. But this is how you know it's a pink sheet stock. On my end, I'm going to show you a screen what it looks like.
There's actually normally a little thing there that would show the exchange. You may have disabled that on the chart there, but it would say OTC. Oh, it does say it right there, Rich. There you go. It's on the name there. Tiny. I mean, I could see bull hitting 50 at this stage, all-time highs, and 50 is a psychological level. That could be a top there.
Yeah. All right, so does everybody see that image I put on the actual alerts? And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, Rich, maybe you could post up. You got the X for them too, and Telegram. I don't know if anyone here wants to sign up for Telegram. But if you're watching on social media, But you'll be able to see these images that I'm posting up. But for everybody there, if you click on the image, you'll see there's no level 2 quotes. Time and sales are all yellow. So you don't know what the hell's going on with it. That's how I know right away. It's like, and you know what's crazy? When you think of pink sheet stocks, everybody's thinking like a penny stock, right? But stocks trading at $30. So it's not just because it's a pink sheet doesn't mean it trades in the pennies. And for anyone who doesn't know what makes up different types of markets, like a penny stock, bulletin board, OTC, NASDAQ National, I had to do this to pass my test, but NASDAQ, when they started out, they had different classes of stocks. And depending on where you wanted to go public at, you have to be more of a reporting company. Some you don't have to report. Pink sheet stocks don't have to report. I don't think they report earnings. That's one of the big differences of doing it. So it depends how involved you'll get and the exposure that you'll get with people who invest.
Cycling through everything else here, Fausto. We got plenty of time here. Don't worry about time. Time is on our side right now, but I mean nothing I'm like drooling over.
Is that Volkswagen? That's a pink sheet stock? I didn't even. So probably it's even a brand, even a company like that. Is it Volkswagen?
Oh, Volkswagen.
Is that Volkswagen?
Yeah.
Lita? It only trade like 17,000 shares.
That's funny. And Ameritrade going back up a little bit, kind of crawling. So I'm not like jumping in, but it's going up a little bit there. I call that SERV, SERV earlier. Actually, now it even looks better. It didn't look good on Bookmap just before. It looked kind of screwy, but you got a 23,000 share iceberg. It just popped up right now.
Bull's open.
And yes, later Nintendo. Yes, Nintendo is actually something I jumped into, Fausto. Remember when I had my account? Like this is 10 years ago when I had my account with my friend. Remember that? So he was into Nintendo because like they launched the Nintendo Switch, and it was actually logical play back then. It was just funny that Leda brought that up. NTDOY. Type that in there, Rich.
Gapped up this morning. It's weird.
Let me just get us here right now and just do this. And zoom out on, make the daily like a weekly. I just want to see super long term. Yeah, that was going up pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. There you go. It's an OTC stock though, so we normally don't look at this, but just fun on a day like today to poke at.
Why do I feel like Red Bull's gonna be the next Newsmax?
Which could be the new Newsmax?
Web Bull.
Oh, Webull.
Webull. Why call it Web Bull? Webull.
Like we said, $50 would be like a psychological level here, so it wouldn't shock me if it pops up there at this point. When it reopened a little while ago, this was before 10 o'clock. I wanted to see if I can just get a tiny size entry at 32. Didn't pull back. So
you know what's so funny about like Webull and like all the stocks you see going public today, like Newsmax and stuff like that. You notice like when some of the companies went public, they start like Lyft went to like opened up at $80, $90 and they tanked. So it's like they're not opening them up higher anymore. They're opening them up lower. And then you'll see it's like doing the opposite. It's like $10, and boom, these things are flying.
Well, you remember because obviously I think the one that you're thinking of most is like Coinbase when they launched years and years back.
Oh, yeah, it was like 400 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had that stock at 400 and I lost money and I got out. I took a $5 loss on that. And that was probably the best $5 loss I ever took.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. I'll always bring that up every time you can, just because you got out with whatever. You got out tiny loss in the grand scheme of things and collapsed.
Yeah, it was holding there. It was almost like how Webull was trading on Friday. And I'm like, and it started like creeping down a little bit. I'm like $400 is a lot of money for a stock to pay for something, because I look at it and go down 400 more points. That's why I look at it. Yeah. So,
all right. Well, any other moves that we can get here so far?
Okay. You know what? I'm feeling a little more comfortable with the market right now. I'm looking at some of the fabulous sevens.
Rich just made a call out. I was about to type it in there. VERV. It's making a good slingshot right now, it looks like.
He's going to
Needs
test
to
the
make a
resistance
higher high, though.
bit. Yeah.
And just again, quick reminder for all of us on YouTube once more, we have our live workshop at 12 o'clock Eastern time today, Traders Talk. That'll be on YouTube and inside our live trading room. If you have any questions that you want to send in directly, feel more than free to do so. I just posted my email address on the stream right there, Josh@CTU Trading. And shoot me a quick email. We'll be live right here at 12 o'clock. And of course, if you're a member on the trading floor right now, you certainly know best. But we'll be right back at 12 o'clock Eastern here. We got 15 more minutes, though, here right now. So quick reminder.
Webble's got to hold it again. Weeble. Come on, Fausto, get your names right.
Yeah, damn it. I was going to do like 50 shares, just tiny size, just see if I can get an entry at $32. Just
I think I'm going to do a video
definitely
on
would be looking good now. But
if I did a video on Weeble, what should I do? What would you kind of explain?
what, like as far as the Webull platform?
No. Just about what's going on with Weeble going public.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm sorry. I got you also a little low on the audio here too, so there's no echo. I probably can't hear you too well.
No,
here.
Weeble. If I did a video on it, I could do like my typical daily posts on what to watch. What do you think would be? That's what I was thinking about, Lynn. Maybe do more of a swing, a great swing. Nobody knowing that stock opened up lower, and
It's
probably
tough
compared
though
to like
because
Numax, right?
I don't know how they came out on Friday without anyone even knowing. Benzinga normally is so good, and I don't know how they missed that. So as far as IPOs in general, more often than not, right? They're not good trades, right? So I just don't want to incentivize students like Lynn and Randy or like new members otherwise to like start trading every IPO under the sun because they'll get blown up, right? So it is tough to trade. That's the issue with it. It's tough to do it in foresight almost because you got to have like good liquidity. Now, though, it's obviously easy to say it's flying up right now, but probably the better talking point is to make a video on what happens afterwards, right? When they start crashing back down 70%.
Well, that's what I probably think I'll do. Maybe I'll do a video what happened Numax when it went public, and then how Webull came out and what to expect and what could happen in the next 2-3 days with it. So
yeah, like imagine jumping in on Newsbacks thinking like, oh, it's going to bounce back up from $100, and it came down there.
It to 300.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost hit 300, like 275 or some crap. Yeah, 272.99.
Yeah, I definitely want to make it a point to say we do not trade IPOs here, like seriously, as like serious, like, oh, I'm going to do this on 1,000 shit. No. You can't do that because most of them are just pop and drop. This goes to show like Newsmax, most people know Newsmax. A lot of people in the stock market know Webull. So they're reputable companies. They're big companies, right? Figure there might be movement on it.
I think more people know more about Webull than Newsmax. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I mean, Webull it's a brokerage firm. You know what I mean? It's been around for a while. And what's nice, what I think I like about Webull, it's like about Newsmax. There's not that much really. If there's not much going on, it's like when we find a stock, Josh, and we get one of these winners that go up 300, 400, 500% on the day, and like, how did it all of a sudden catch wind? Because there's nothing else out there moving. So it does cause a herd of people to jump into it and trade it.
Yeah, you gotta, not you as in the trader, but the company's got to get lucky where like if nothing is happening on that day, you're right. Like it's like the blitz, like you call it. So
could have been strategically done that way. That's why I'm saying that's probably why we didn't know anything about Webull coming out. It's opened. It just opened up again. It's going to get halted all day. So
I can see Webull filling that gap on the daily chart too from Friday into Monday. I don't know when that will be. It could be by the end of this week, perhaps, but
there's a short squeeze going on right now. I mean, guys, you could trade it, but just trade very small lots, 100 shares, 1 share. Don't try to hit any crazy home runs.
You're getting a push up on this other one here, Kids, KIDZ. Cheap stock and moved crazy on Friday, I guess. Didn't realize that till now. Oh, I guess this is also some sort of IPO, Fausto. I don't know what the hell happened to this KIDZ trade.
The hell is
Fell
that?
off a cliff from last week.
That really
This
moved
goes to
like
show IPOs, right? So, geez, all right. So I'll keep that in mind, but that will probably pull back down quickly throughout the late morning.
Kid Z as a. I never heard of that one. I never heard of that company before, but I definitely heard of Webull and Newsmax.
Another stock here. It's not breaking pre-market levels yet, and I'm only calling it out because of the resistance right there at 250 on TMC. You have like a 178,000 share seller right there at the high. So good setup. Keep your eye on that price.
I'm just looking at these. I'm looking at the warrants on the bull, on the W and Z, and it's just incredible how like the Z is like flat. The W, a little bit, but these it was a 50 cents and when it 60 cents on Friday. It's only we're not even open up an hour, and if we're trading this strong going into the day, you know traders what to look for.
I want to see if we can get a pop on this kids trade soon. KIDZ. Just that 250 level will be like kryptonite though for right now.
It's got a nice spread, decent volume. I mean, it's going up very little since this morning at $2, 230. You have iceberg orders on that? I didn't check.
At 250, that big iceberg at 250 there. So until it breaks that, looks like
You know,
that
it's so funny how
Webull
we just
trade topped off right at $50 or right around it, coming scorching down now.
you know it's crazy. You know it's funny. Like, and some of the traders have to realize, like, wait a minute, weren't you just talking about THTX? What happened with that? Let me tell you, it's just like I hate to use the word, like we dumped it like a cheap date. It's like, you know, it's I'm sorry, but like so, I thought it was a good date. I thought we had something in common, and then all of a sudden, like, mom, could you pick me up?
Yeah.
It
Let's
ain't
turn
going
back
too
to the
well. He wants
THTX.
to get married, have kids like tonight, and you know what I mean. Like, I thought it was great when I met her online, you know what I mean? But it's not looking too good. That's
You were
hard.
relatively quick on this one as well. Like it was stalling out too. This gave you a lot of time to figure it out. Be like, listen, this thing's not pushing higher. Let's get out
Well,
now.
we asked the right questions when we finally met face to face. So that's what happened with that stock, you know,
Mhm.
with the THTX. We saw it, like we mentioned earlier. We saw the wicks didn't look good. We started saying, it was getting too crazy. I'm like, let's go look for something else. So for everyone here, especially the students and the new students, this is what you learn in class and here on YouTube. You're gonna learn a lot if you come and join us. By the way, if you're watching YouTube on social media, just take your phone on the top right-hand corner, right above Josh's head. You'll see his little QR code. Just scan it, and you can join our trading room because we're gonna be signing off with you guys in the next 3 minutes. But we're here all day in our trading room. So if you want to come and join us, instead of worrying about getting the alerts and everything else, feel free to come and sign up. And we'll post up the link there. You can click on the link, Rich, if you post it up there. Lita says, what is SKGR associated with Bull? Someone doesn't come up because they're merged.
Not too sure. Not too sure, Lita. I'll figure out though once we jump off. I'll do a little digging on that trade.
It's not trading. Maybe they bought. So SKGR merged with them? Is that probably what happened?
That could be like to create the IPO or something, right? Maybe it's like who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe it's a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company. And yep, no, Rich, you pointed out perfect. Yeah, there you go. Didn't even see the chat there until you posted it. I remember back like 4 years ago, it was like all these companies there listed as SPAC, special purpose acquisition company. I guess it's different than an IPO.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the main guy? I can't pronounce his last name. I apologize. Chamath P. Everyone should know who he is. He's from podcast All In podcast, a huge business podcast, and he was like going over how SPACs are the future and all this. Every one of them tanked. Every single one of them. This was 4 years ago. Just complete down. So
Bill Ireland remembers. Just showing up. It was a great podcast. Christopher was saying, "Yep."
I can't pronounce his last name, but starting to hold here. Is it maybe on the kids? Maybe there's a chance it could break over that iceberg.
The we haven't mentioned in a while, but the Bitcoin stocks are moving up pretty nicely. IBIT, BITU, BITX.
Yeah, all of those are doing pretty good right now. But Bitcoin's going back up to 85,000 as we speak.
This week it's going to be there in about 5 minutes. It's almost
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
It's that 94. It's that 84,860. You're only about $150 away.
I appreciate that, Bill. Bill clarifying SPAC versus IPO, and those are a little less due diligence than going through the IPO process.
Yeah, Rich is calling that iceberg order we saw right out there around that $20.90 and 85. It's getting close to it. That was a nice hell of a bounce right there. I think that was probably the best, easiest play for a beginner student here. When I called it out right around 9:45, if you got in there right around that 220, 230, get out right here. You did pretty well. You make 50 cents a day. I think today would have been a good day. A good day. If you jumped in that bull, you got lucky. Oh, look at Lita. Look at you. Not bad.
Nice, Lita.
Not bad. Lita, you gonna be upset if it goes to 100? It just when it got halted at 51, dropped all the way down to 42. I don't know. I think I could see another Newsmax. Well, we're getting close to that time anyway. 10:30. We might get could get a reversal time, but we're going to be jumping off the mic, everybody. So once again, if you're watching on social media before we log out, or if you're watching this recording, take your phone, scan the QR code to try the top of Josh's head right there. It says free live workshop. You can come and join us. We're here all day. He's also going to be back here at 12 o'clock doing Traders Talk. So make sure you send in your questions. It's our once a week free event of educational course that we teach you guys how to trade today's markets. And then don't forget, markets closed on Friday. So kids are off school this week. A lot of kids are off school because of the holiday week. So just don't too cocky. Don't get too crazy. All right. Hopefully everyone's got some decent swing trades from last week. And, but don't listen, can never go broke, take a profit. Can't trust what's going on with this president. He can come out and change something tomorrow. China can say something, it could be, so be careful of your swing trades. That's why you love day trading. All right. So we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back right here, 12 o'clock Eastern time. So stay tuned if you're on social media. We do this every Monday afternoon at noon Eastern. So we'll come right back here in just a couple hours.